Okay, so the craziest thing about Boogie Woogie and blues is the rhythm. And in this video, I will show you the concept behind this type of rhythm, what you just heard. It's not hard, but there's a couple of things you need to understand in order to play this. Everything I improvised at the beginning is based on quarter note triplets. So in the right hand, we're basically emphasizing every other triplet, while in the left hand, we're emphasizing the first and the third triplet. So you have 1 and a, 2 and a, 1 and a, 2 and a. So it sounds about like this. The cool thing is that we can take this idea a step further and superimpose eighth note triplets on top of those quarter note triplets. So there's a lot going on that rubs against the left hand, which creates interest. Now I can even put triplets on top of each triplet and put that against it, right? So if we go right? And I can do 16th notes on top of each triplet. So that would be Now I'm going to show you some really great exercises that have proven very effective with my students. First, we need to straighten out the left hand though. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1. I think now is a good time to remind you of what the goal is. This exercise is the basis for everything I play in this video, so it's really important. It's about going from eighth note triplets to quarter note triplets and back. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1. The ultimate goal is, of course, that we feel those quarter note triplets intuitively, that we don't have to count, we can just bring them in whenever we want to. Now, this exercise expands on those quarter note triplets by alternating between two intervals. This creates a 2 against 3 feel. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a This exercise is, technically speaking, a lot more demanding. So I suggest we're going to do a little pre-exercise. And the way I want to do this is we're going to think of those quarter note triplets as beats of a 6/4 meter. Okay? And then we'll fill it up with triplets and 16th notes. So here are the triplets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Really make sure you feel the pulse, right? Because these are the quarter note triplets once we bring in the left hand. It's crazy what the brain can do. Those triplets don't line up with anything we do in the left hand. It's mathematically very complicated. And the same, or even worse, with the 16th note. So let's do the 16th notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that's a great pre-exercise. There's one more thing I want to mention, and that's that little slide. So in blues, you slide a lot from black keys to white keys. Okay, so let's do the exercise. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a... Okay, so now we're going to add another idea, and that is displacing the quarter note triplets. We're basically moving them over by an eighth note triplet. So instead of this, I'm going to do this. And, right? 1 and a 2 and a. Okay. So I can do this, by the way, in the same measure. So it sounds like this. That's really cool. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a... Just a heads up, after this exercise, I'm going to show you how I applied all these exercises we just went through to my short improvisation you heard earlier in this video. In this exercise, we bring back those nested 8th note triplets and 16th note triplets and apply them to the displaced quarter note triplets. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a... Okay, so as promised, I will show you now how I incorporated all this, what we just learned, into my improvisation. Let me quickly explain the process. I will play 2 bars of my improv at a time. Then after each performance, I will explain the music and give you some more tips. Okay, so the first measure is the classic rock and roll lick. You hear this often an octave higher. So what I did here is I go back and forth between the blue note F sharp and the G. Now you can do a lot of variations on this. You can go like this. So, be creative with that. The second bar is, of course, our quarter note triplets with that sliding blue note. And what's special about this one is that it starts on the second triplet. So we always started it on the downbeat, but you don't have to. And you can also end it early. For example. Okay, so again, something to be creative with. In bar 3, you can see how I combined the ideas from exercise 2 and exercise 5. In exercise 2, we alternated between 2 intervals on those quarter note triplets. In exercise 5, we displaced quarter notes. So I can do the same thing with this. So I can go. I actually also alternate each note of each interval. So it sounds like this. Now that can also be displaced. And here you have your bar 3. I'm going to play bar 3 and 4 again so we remember what bar 4 is about. Bar 4 leans heavily on exercise 3, where we squeezed in 4/16 notes between each quarter note triplet. In this case, we leave out the downbeat, but rhythmically speaking, it's exactly that. So let's leave out the downbeat and then apply those 4 note 16th cells to the blues scale, running it down, right? Like this. So it goes. And that's it. Bar 5 and 6 are both a good example of how we can apply exercise 5. Bar 5 is just the displaced quarter note triplets with the blue note. And then bar 6 adds those nested 8th note triplets in. So it goes like. But we're going to apply them to the blues scale again. This time we're going to run the blues scale up. It goes. And that's it. The ending is obviously just a tremolo and a glissando. Nothing to call home about. I'm sure you can see the value of those exercises. And to make it easier for you to work on them, I give away the sheet music that goes along with those exercises for free. Absolutely free. You don't even have to give me your email address or anything. Just go to popjazzkeys.com/blues and pick up a copy. Happy practicing.